Okay, hello everyone. So I haven't done a video in a long time and decided to do one right now. Specifically about a topic that I'm actually getting a lot of questions about from different people at work um, and other friends of mine. They've been asking me on this following question is, what do you think about teaching part-time while you have a full-time job? So I've been doing that for the past 5 years roughly. I worked in couple different community colleges and universities across the U.S., specifically Arizona, South Carolina, Missouri, and now in California. So I have quite a bit of experience in this, and I taught plenty of different classes. So I'm going to give you my take on this, and I put some notes here about this topic that they're just general comments to maybe help you, and I'll give you at least my recommendation, what I feel like at the end, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But in a nutshell, a couple different comments here. So you can either teach at a community college, obviously, or a university. Some people think one is more difficult than the other. In my opinion, I have not seen that. I think they're the same in terms of either getting in or the type of students. As a matter of fact, again, my opinion, I think community college students are better, generally speaking, because the majority of them have been gone for a while and then came back, and I think I felt I appreciated school a little bit better, so they're a little bit easier to deal with. You as a professional and teaching part time, I think you'll have an easier time working with them to get the job. My recommendation would be email the head department directly. So go look at the head department. Let's say you want to teach math. Go look for the professor that teaches math and just email him. Say, hello, professor. X, Y, and Z. I would like to teach part time. Do you have any openings? And that's before you apply formally to the university, just to get a feeling of whether they're looking for somebody or not. Note that universities and colleges love adjunct faculty, folks that work, because first, they're cheaper, in terms of pay, but also they get that practical experience to the students, which I think they appreciate. So email the head department just to get a feeling of whether they need anybody or not, and that's how I got every single job, which is roughly uh, I taught at seven colleges and universities um, so far. So to teach, you have to have at least a master's degree in that field. So if you want to teach math, you have to have a master's degree in math. You can't have a master's degree in engineering and teach math. So that's another, misunderstanding. People think that, oh, I have an engineering degree, I can teach math. Obviously, the topic, but there's requirements depending on the location in the university. So the minimum requirement is a math degree in that field. So just keep that in mind. The pay, roughly what I've seen is $250 per credit hour. So, I teach 8 hours, I get roughly two grand a month. So it's a little bit of extra income depending on, what do you want to do and stuff like that. For me, I don't, that's not the main reason for me I teach, but that could be a main reason that you're teaching. So it's a little bit extra money if you want to do something with it. Uh, some of the benefits about teaching is that you stay sharp. So compared to your colleagues at work, I teach math and I'm pretty sharp in terms of remembering integration or differentiation and whatnot, because you're not doing that type of work every single day. So it just keeps you sharp in that field and doing problems by hand and so on. So that's a positive. Um, it also helps your presentation skills. So that's another good thing about it. So um, you gain some expertise in that field. So I think that's another positive. Um, and if you want to turn this into a full time job, this could obviously help you get a full time job in the future. Having all this experience teaching. Um, you can also, generally speaking, this is something that, which I think majority of professors teach because of the following reason, which is really helping at the end of the day. So helping students and giving back to society and the community you live in. So this is the interesting thing about this, right? So it's definitely rewarding and interesting, but at the same time, it's really difficult. And you have some students that are hard to deal with. So typically, what I've seen, you have, for the most part, students are good for the most part, but there's always, even if there's one or two of those that are just very difficult, and they argue about everything. They just they're hard to deal with. Those can really make things really hard and impact you in terms of uh, giving your best to other students. So this semester I have, you know, generally really good students, but I'm having difficulty with some of them, and they sometimes they I try not, I try to just something pretty much ignore them and just move on. But they send emails and they go talk to the head department about random stuff when they come back and talk to you. So it's, they waste your time, and you need to explain why you did certain things. But in the general sense, don't let that prevent you from going teaching. But that's just something to note, and you're gonna have to deal with it, and you have to be pretty firm with them, and just tell them this is the way it is. If you don't like it, pretty much drop the class, because and that's after you tried and talked to them and so on. So just keep that in mind. Um, Also, just to keep in mind something on the negative side, or I don't know, the way you look at it, could be negative or positive, which is preparing for class. So it does take time. So, from me, I teach two classes, roughly 8 credit hours, and it takes me, I would say, per week, 3 hours maybe, from preparing to grading quizzes and so on, stuff like that, and responding to emails. But overall, it's not that bad. And also, that's not including the time I teach, right? So I think that's all the notes I took to give you guys. But in a nutshell, I'll say it is a good thing. I think if you have some extra time and you have a passion for teaching, and you want to give back to the community, I would say that's something that I would encourage people to do. There's really not enough adjunct faculty, I feel like, from industry coming in to teach students, but I highly encourage it. And if you want more information, just leave a comment and I'll try to respond to it. So thanks for watching.